Well, good morning, people. Welcome to a very, very delayed visit to the Moorland Bikers Man Cave. I've had problems. I've had problems technology-wise. I've already said so many times I'm a bit of a technophobe, but this is going to be the last episode, I think, from Spain, because unbeknown to me, I've managed to damage the connection on my microphone. I didn't have a spare one with me, so there's no sound. So what I've done is, over the last couple of weeks, I've been working away, trying to work out how to do a voiceover, a narrative, if you like. It's just that the editing suite, or the editing software that we've been inflicted with by Microsoft, it doesn't seem to want to work all that well. I've at long last found a way of doing it and managed to do it, so it's going to be a bit basic, a bit different, but it's a one-off. It's a visit to the Windmills of La Mancha, in the Toledo area of Spain, on the way up from Granada up to Madrid and beyond. And I also include the arrival at the following night's stay as well. So, like I say, it's a bit different. It's a bit hodgepodge. I know in this job they say you're only as good as your last video. I hope that's not true. I really do hope that's not true. But it's basically the helmet. The helmet camera had fallen off the front helmet and was dangling by the microphone lead, and it damaged the connection, and there was just no sound at all, which was disappointing to say the least. But I'd got the video there with no sound, but I couldn't do nothing with it, if you know what I mean. It's just, I hope when you watch it, you'll see why I consider it to have been a special visit. Either way, that's it. It's the Windmills of La Mancha, and near the town of Consuegra. Lovely area, a bit flat all around it, but just nice and hilly around by the windmills, as you'll see. So have a watch through and see what you think anyway. Cheers. So this is us about to leave the hostel Arcilla, last night's accommodation. It's a hostel really, yeah, and restaurant attached to it. Restaurant's basic, and the hostel's basic. It's a bit tired, but it's comfortable enough. It's a good way north of Granada. Had I not insisted on including the trip up to Pico Valletta yesterday before heading north, I'd have got a lot further north. But it was okay. It was €27, but I had to get my breakfast separately. But it's okay. It's one that's used, by the look of it, it's used by transport drivers and contractors. It's very much a work accommodation, if you like. But either way, we're heading back onto the main road and back up towards Madrid, but not quite as far as Madrid, because we've got somewhere to call first on the way up. So let's see where we get to. So we're now just coming into Consuegra. Consuegra is still south of Madrid, but it's a pleasant little place, as you can see as we ride through it. It's a location for my next target, if you like. As I say, it's a pleasant looking little place, but it's the location of a group of 12 windmills, 12 old windmills that are beautifully situated on a high ridge overlooking the plains all around. These are known as the Windmills of La Mancha. A bit of a story about them, as you can imagine. But the windmills themselves, some of them date back to the 16th century, but one or two were built a little bit later. And as we ride up past them, you'll see just what I mean by how spectacular they're sited. And in the midst of them is the castle. Well, it's known as the Castle of Consuegra, or Consuegra Castle, but it's the Castle of La Muela. which dates back to prior to the 12th century, as its origins as Arabic, built by the Moors, I suppose, really, before being handed over to the Knights of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem. It's such a commanding position where it's sited. Got a fantastic view over, like the windmills, over all the plains around, so you can see the enemy approaching from any direction, really, I suppose, when you think about it. It's perfectly situated. The windmills themselves, I mean, I've read about this. I've never read the book, and I suppose I should have done, really. It's one of those books you used to read at school. Don Quixote. And, Don Quixote, from what I've read about him, in the book he was portrayed as an interesting character. He was a self-proclaimed knight, apart from anything else, a little bit eccentric, but he came across these windmills and he was convinced that they were a set of giants that were chasing him and after him. But it was his squire, his manservant, if you like, Pancho, who convinced him. A lot more sensible than Don Quixote by the sounds of it, but he convinced him that, no sir, no master, they are just windmills. They're not giants, they're not after you, they're not enemies, they're just windmills. And he was a bit happier at that. But they're so iconic, I suppose, really. I've read about them a few times and never really thought I'd have a chance to come all the way out here to visit them, because it's a bit out on a limb, I suppose, really, compared to where I usually spend my time in the mountains. But they're just a marvellous situation. So I'm going to spend some time up here and have a look around them before we kick off back. We'll go back down, and we'll go back down through Consuegra as we leave to get back on the main road. But let's have a look at them first, shall we? This is the classic view of the windmills we're coming to. But just look at the panorama up here, out over the plains of La Mancha. You can see why the windmills are built where they are, because the amount of crops that must have been grown here and needed to be milled into flour. That's an absolute classic. That view. That's all I wanted to do today, was come and have a look at this. It may seem a bit daft, but one of those really special moments, I suppose, really, to be up here. I wish I knew the history better than I do. Perhaps I would take the trouble to read the book, read Don Quixote. I might know a bit more, particularly with regard to the castle. I will try and find out a bit more. That's great anyway. So that's the windmills done and dusted. I could have spent a lot more time up there, to be honest. Marvellous situation. Like I said, iconic really. But we'll leave, going back through Consuegra, back out to the main road again. But as we leave, it's a nice enough place, a nice enough town to spend a bit of time, I suppose, really. I can't see myself coming across this way again, to be brutally honest. But as we leave, there's an absolutely marvellous piece of church architecture, as you can see in front of us. In fact, it's a superb piece of church architecture, really. And as I've said before, I'm not a particularly religious person, but I really do appreciate church architecture, particularly the amount of variety that we come across here in Spain. So anyway, we'll get back out onto the main road and head north. We're stopping tonight quite a bit further north, beyond Madrid anyway. I can't make it right back up to the north today, not comfortably anyway, so We've got another night out. So we'll see what it's like when we get there. So this is coming into our next overnight stop as we head north. North of Madrid now, anyway. So that's worth knowing. And unlike the others, which you won't have seen my arrival at the others, admittedly, but unlike the others, within moments of leaving the main road, we actually find the hotel right at the side of the road in front of us, which is a big difference to my previous experiences on this trip. So we're coming into the hotel now, the Mavi this is, at Torrelaguna. Beautiful sounding place. And it's on the edge of a range of hills, which are really quite nice to look at. Right, I kid you not. Less than 5 minutes after taking the exit from the motorway, I'm in my room. Oh, good Lord, look at this. As if I need to be reminded of the flipping Houses of Parliament. Oh, dear me. It's very nice, though. That's not a bad thing. Nice little bathroom, decent shower. Yeah, everything we need. Yeah. Wonderful. Job's a good one. Like I said before, give us a thumbs up if you could. And yeah, subscribe and make a comment. It's always nice. Cheers.